West Ham are set to ramp up their sales this week. It's like Black Friday, quite frankly. It's like the January sales. I say this week, West Ham have been trying to sell players, let's be honest, for the majority of the window. We're finding it really, really hard. Someone said to me a long time ago, is signing players is the easy part. It's selling them that's a difficult bit. And that would make absolute sense, really, wouldn't it? Because what you're saying is you're basically asking other people to buy players that you don't want. So by you not wanting them, by and large, it means you've deemed that they're not good enough. And if they're not good enough for you, it's hard to then say, oh, look, take this wonderful player who can't kick a ball for us at the moment. I think we're struggling. And I think normally when you get players like that, what you want to do is sort of sell them down a level, if you know what I mean. So there are plenty of players in the squad. We'll use Maxwell Cornet as an example because it looks like he might be one of the next ones out the door. We'd certainly like him to be. Maxwell Cornet would kill it in the Championship. We all know this. He would be a magnificent player. However, even if you were a Championship club wanting to take him, you could take him with quite a lot of confidence that ability-wise, he's probably going to do the business, be one of the best wingers in the league. I'm quite certain of that. But you've got to deal with the Premier League wages. And this is the problem that West Ham have got. And West Ham admitted it just a week ago. Said we've paid some of these players too much. That's a hindrance to getting them off the books. Even look at someone like Kurt Zouma at the moment. OK, Kurt Zouma, he took his medical. He failed his medical for the United Arab Emirates club. But if his wages were lower, there'd probably be an easier way for him to do something, be it a pay-as-you-play deal or something like that. But at the moment, he's looking at it, and whilst it's not ideal for a 29-year-old player to be thinking, I might miss a year's worth of football, you can understand it when it's £100,000 a week. And I think if that wasn't the case, well, if it was lower than that, we wouldn't have got him in the first place. But you know what I mean. It makes it difficult to then sell him on. We would have to subsidise a large part of his wages. Even that sometimes doesn't work in the way that Danny Ings was wanted by Southampton. You think, well, this one will work. It's his former club. He's from Winchester, which is not a million miles away from Southampton. Everything works, right? He's going to get to play some first-team football, which clearly he's not going to do much at West Ham. I know he featured and like almost got into a position, had a little header, didn't he, against Aston Villa. But by and large, he's not going to play this season, you would expect. However, it was a difficult one to do. And even in the end, West Ham turned around and said, look, we will subsidise the wages. We still couldn't get the deal done. So it's not easy. It's not easy to do transfer deals at the moment. That much is for sure. However, it does look like Maxwell Cornet could be on his way out. It looks like there's some interest from Turkey. There often is, isn't there? I think with someone like Cornet, he's probably not on massive wages. We signed him from Burnley for £17 million. We're going to take a hit. We're going to take a massive loss on this guy. There's no doubt about that at all. We're not seeing our money back. We're really not. I'd be surprised we saw some money back. I think if we could get £5 million for him, I'd probably take it. It's not my money. I'd take it because I'd just go and spend it. But, you know, if I was a football club, I would take it. I think I probably would. Let's be fair. It's nothing against the man. He's probably a perfectly lovely guy. But it's been a failed transfer. It's been a failure. It's a terrible, terrible transfer. It hasn't worked out for all the reasons that we've discussed so many times. Anyway, could be an exit route for him to go to Turkey. That'd be great. Look, we're desperate to get players out. Even it's quite funny. We were talking about Fabrizio Romano yesterday, weren't we? And even his West Ham update yesterday was West Ham need to sell some players. We all know the club are leaking it. I don't know if we think it will help the information being out there. I mean, more clubs are likely to come. I don't know. It's an advertisement in that sense, isn't it? Another player that is on his way out is Luis Xiao. Luis Xiao, now you remember this guy. We signed him from the Brazilian league. I guess he's been here about a year and a half, maybe a little bit longer. It hasn't worked out for him. And I've got a certain level of sympathy for him, actually. He was signed on a free transfer mid-season, and he's not had a sniff first team. Now, the funny thing is, last night, I went out to watch Reading against West Ham under-21s. And he played, and he looked all right. To be fair, the irony is I looked at him and I thought, he kept on launching long balls we kept on doing it, launching long balls to the wings, and West Ham's most creative. But West Ham's best player was Lewis Orford, which is the reason I went down there to see him play. But it was largely a sort of a decimated under-21 team. Patrick Kelly's not there. Obviously, Callum Marshall's gone out on loan. George Urphy's out on loan, as you know. Even with them in there, it was still a young under-21 team. This under-21 team was barely recognisable from the team that played last season. Very few players. You sort of looked at Orford, you looked at Casey, you looked at Scarles, you looked at Lewis Yao, and that was it. Everybody else was a newbie, really, and that's quite a big turnover. But anyway, one of the bright sparks was Junior Robinson. Thought he was really good. Played at wing back. He's not a wing back. He's a winger, really. I say that from watching him play live for 90 minutes. But anyway, he was really good, really good. But Lewis Yao kept on trying to ping him with long passes. And I looked at Lewis Yao last night and I thought, actually, he looks more like a Lopetegui player now. But anyway, it's not going to happen. He's going to go. We're not going to get any money for him. I think he's going to go out on loan. And that is going to be, I guess, him and Cornet stage one. Now, I think the important thing is these deals getting done are probably what's holding up the Carlos Soler deal at the moment. Everything else has been agreed there. But as I say, even Romano said, this got to happen. West Ham need to sell players. There's been another little twist, this one with Nayef Aguerd, actually. Before I tell you about that, today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. Who are Surfshark? Well, they're a VPN network. What's a VPN? It's something you should be having, because if you're watching this video now, you're watching it on the internet. And if you are watching anything or doing anything on the internet, someone can come and have a little snoop. Someone can have a browse and see what you're doing. It's not to suggest you're doing anything overly dodgy, but what we do on the internet, we don't want people to see. I do my banking. I have internet banking. I don't want people to see my banking. If I go to the ATM, the cash point machine, which I do, no one uses cash anymore. But if I do, I go there, I cover my PIN number up. Beep, 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 beep. I probably just revealed it there. Beep, beep. You've probably seen what it is there. Don't tell anyone. I cover my PIN number up because I don't want anyone to see it. My private emails, I don't want people to see them. I don't want people to see correspondence, business correspondence, emails to friends and family. It's private stuff. But I tell you what, if you're not using a VPN, you've got an open window into everything that you're doing. VPN gives you that security. The best thing is with Surfshark, who are sponsoring this video, we're going to give you the first 4 months free. And if you don't like it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. I've been using Surfshark. It's quite funny that they would come and sponsor us, because when Gio said to me, we've got a sponsorship with Surfshark, so I'll use them. I've been using them for probably best part of 3 years. I'm using it on this now. I use it on my phone. I use it when I watch the football. When I was out, I went on holiday to Norway in May. I used it then. Actually, the reason I used it then was just to change my location. It wasn't to do anything particularly that I was looking to sort of secure myself or anything. I just found when I was in Norway, I wasn't getting the same West Ham news, so I changed my location on the phone, made it pretend that I was in the UK, and all my favourite stuff just basically popped back on the screen. Link is in the description below. Use a Hammers Chat, use the code. It's got a discount code that will give you that 4-month free trial and the 30-day money-back guarantee. Links in the description below. Surfshark, get it done. You won't, I promise you will not regret it. Now, Nayef Aguerd. Here's a funny one. It's getting very, very, very nervous, I feel, from Nayef Aguerd. To not feature in the first team is something against Aston Villa. To not be on the bench at all is something quite different. I mentioned that in a video a couple of days ago. He's fallen down. He's now fourth choice. He's fourth choice centre back. That's quite a fall from grace, really, isn't it? Particularly for someone that cost £30-odd million. And he wants out. Now, the desperation thing is here that basically he was so desperate to get out, he actually appointed an agent who was Dubai-based. He did that in a reason that he could hopefully secure a move to Middle East. It's just not happened. I mean, who would have thought, honestly, bearing in mind Kurt Zouma's fitness problems, who would have thought that Kurt Zouma would have had an active transfer offer before Nayef Aguerd? Not me, certainly. But we've been told about it. It's been talked about for so long with Aguerd, which is he's going to have a deal. He's going to have a big deal come in from Saudi Arabia. It's not happened. And I maintain this. If any of these clubs seriously want players, they just go out and get them. I'm not just talking about Saudi clubs. So any club, why would you, if you really wanted a player, why would you wait? Well, there's one reason. That's to try and drive the price down. I don't think you need to drive the price down for Nayef Aguerd. I think he's available. And let's be fair, if you're dealing with the Saudi Pro League, the majority of the clubs there are completely awash with money anyway. They're not going to deny themselves the player they want because they think he might be £1 million cheaper in 2 months' time. I can't see that anyway. Getting rid of Nayef Aguerd and Kurt Zouma would sort out a lot of the problems that are holding up the last couple of transfers, which I think we're trying to do. Which obviously we know Carlos Soler is one of them, and there may well be another deal for a striker. But as it stands at the moment, it's not just those, of course. Lewis Yao, he was never on big money. It's not really going to particularly assist a lot of extra money coming in. It's not going to take an awful lot off of the payroll. Be Ings, Cornet, who we've already discussed, Zouma and Aguerd. If the club can shift 3 of those, then they're laughing. It'd actually be remarkable because if that happened, we would have got rid of all the players that we wanted to get rid of, really, and kept all the players that we wanted to keep and brought signings in. That's sort of borderline a miraculous transfer window. I'm not going to hail it as being one yet because we've not done those other things. But it's like I said at the start of the video, the easy part is buying players. The difficult part is selling them. It's going to be really hard. I suspect there will be a deal somewhere along the line for Kurt Zouma, but for that to happen, Zuma's going to have to accept that he's going to earn less money. Because even if he accepts a pay-as-you-play deal, he knows his own body. He knows that, okay, well, I'll probably earn the same money if I play all the games, but I'm not going to play all the games because my knees can't hack it. So he has to decide, do you know what? I'd rather play football than earn the money. He'll still earn some money, but you get what I'm saying. It'll be a footballing decision. I think that's a tough one for him. And I'll cast your mind back here. Cast your mind back. When he first joined West Ham weren't the only club in for him. The reason West Ham got him, go and search for those stories, they'll be out there. He wanted to remain in London. It was really important. Leave Chelsea, but remain in London. That's why West Ham got him. And you can't imagine that he's suddenly... His mind has changed after, 3-4 years. It's unlikely to be the case. He's still got young children. They're still going to be in school. The reasoning's still going to be the same. So actually, it's not just a case of footballing decision, is it? It's not a football and a money decision. It then becomes a family decision. So I'm not so sure. But I suspect if I had to put them in order of going out, I'd go Cornet. I'd go Cornet, Zouma, Aguerd, Ings last. I don't know why Ings is last. I think it's probably because he was offered the chance and didn't leave. I think he quite likes it as well. You see him in the videos. I think he quite likes being part of the club, actually. And he's a good guy. He's a good character to have around as well. Seems to get on really well with Cresswell. But anyway, look, I'm waffling on. There you go. Maxwell Cornet looks like he's soon to be out the door. We hope that will facilitate Carlos Soler, hopefully, by the end of the week.